the game, 'cause see the boxing voice.
So I'm here with Tino. Tell people about like what your next fight. Like there was some confusion about your next fight. So what's going on with that first and foremost?
First of all, they told me I was fighting HBO Latino, and then it went from that to, they're like, all right, you're fighting December 18th on Estrella at Fantasy Springs. Then they took me off of that, and now I'm fighting still December 18th in Cancun, Mexico. So it went from title defense to now a non-title defense, non-TV fight.
And you're currently ranked number 10 at 122 pounds, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, at Ringside Magazine, and I even talked to them. They're like, yeah, you know, we just seeing you fight all these people, and you know, you've dominated all these guys, so we had to put you at top 10. You know, we had to get that recognition for you.
So is this fight essentially just going to be like a stay busy fight, and then you might come back like March, April, May, and then defend your belt, and then start to look to fight the guys in the top of the division?
Oh yeah, this is just a stay busy fight. You know, I think they plan for me to come back in the ring again in March, and then I think again in June, and they already have my fights pretty much lined up. So as long as I stay active and stay healthy, you know, with Garcia Boxing, it's a lot easier to stay more healthy and more active. We're just going to keep going with the schedule they got.
Yeah, and I remember your last fight, and it takes me a while to think about fights because most people didn't get to see it. It was a club show, but you would first camp with Garcia. This is your second. In fact, you're going to kind of have like 2 tune-up fights before you really have a national fight. Is that kind of nice to have like a new team around you, but you get a couple of fights where you get to get prepared for the big fights?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. You know, new camp, so we're still learning new things. You know, like my last fight, you know, I could have easily knocked the guy out with my old style, but we changed up my style. You know, you punch when you want to, move your, you know, head movement, footwork, and so it's completely different, and it's cool because I get the second fight where I get to work on more things. So which means in my, you know, when we get to a fight where it's on TV and stuff, it shows everything that I can do, and it's not just like all the little things here and there that I'm working on. No, it's showing everything that I'm gonna do. You know, it's gonna show a little bit more what I can do. You know, I never fought full capacity, and even these next fights are gonna be full capacity.
Yeah, I was watching you in the gym, and I mentioned, I won't say what I saw, but there were a couple of things that I saw, and I'm like, I've never seen you do that in a fight, and it was just kind of amazing to me that you had those elements to your game.
Yeah, you know, like if I don't have to go all out, you know, yeah, everybody loves to watch the knockouts and, you know, everything, you know, it's just, if I don't have to, why am I gonna do it? You know, I'm not in the game to fight, you know, to please the crowd. You know, even though just with my style, I'm I guess a crowd pleaser, but you know, I'm in there to get the win and, you know, try to protect myself as much as I can because, you know, boxing career is not a long career that many people could take. You know, so I'm just trying to take care of myself and make it as long as possible.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about like training up here with the Garcias, and like what's your mindset when you enter into training for like, especially today, like a 4-hour training day. So like how do you mentally get ready, and then what does it feel like when you're going through the training regime?
Well, when I first came out, you know, it was a little bit harder. You know, you're like, oh man, I've never gone through this kind of training. You know, they do workouts for your entire body, you know, and I was never used to that. All I did was run, spar, and hit the bag, and that's all I did. And now it's working on your footwork, working on your head movement, working on weights and balance, and like, man, it's just crazy. And yeah, like when I first got here, it was just, you know, it was crazy. Like I was like, man, I don't know if I can handle this, but now it's just, you know, it's an everyday thing, you know, where we work on every week and 2 days a week. So it's cool, you know. It's not a overwhelming thing, and it's not that hard of a thing to do anymore.
And I was talking with Sam Garcia. The thing that's so amazing about you is even when you're tired, you don't complain and you don't show emotion. Like I saw you go around the ring and you're just the same.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is this is part of boxing. And if you're going to complain about something that, oh man, I'm tired or I'm in pain, you know, then what are you doing here, you know? It's like a fighter saying, oh, I don't want to fight this guy. It's like, what are you a boxer for? That's the part of the game, you know? You know, I've fought in fights with broken hands and dislocated shoulders and, you know, all types of things, and I'm not going to complain. And, like, what's the point of that, you know, to make it look like you have an excuse? You know, that's not what I'm about.
Name some of the amateurs that you fought or some of the pros now that in the amateurs you fought that you had pretty good success against that people might know? Like you named a couple that are basically headlining events right now.
I fought Sal Rodriguez, where I guess he's like 130 or 135 or something like that now. And I beat him in the amateurs. And then I fought Victor Pasillas, but I lost against him, but I was able to drop him in the second round with a left hook. And that's actually what got me discovered, into turning pro. And then I've had a few other guys, but all these guys is, a lot of politics where I won the fight and everybody knew I won the fight, but they gave the guy the decision type of thing. So just list goes on, but it's just, I was even top dog in the amateurs, so now it's less politics, and now I'm top dog in pros.
Okay. Any last things you're thinking about that you want to say?
No, it's just I want to say thank you to Garcia Boxing, and thank you to my fiance, for all the support that they give me. And right now they're pretty much my number one support, and without them I wouldn't really be able to have the things that I have now. Even my last TV fight, I wasn't with them, but they were still helping me out with the whole little situation that we had.
Okay. And you don't want to talk about that situation?
Yeah.
Well, tell us. If you want to talk about it, just explain it.
Well, it was my first fight for the title. HBO Latino. I was fighting Honduras Salinas or something like that. I can't really pronounce his name. But they had me as the underdog. They had me walking in second. They had the guy, as a favorite fighter and this and that, And me, I was like, man, I'm just a fighter. I'm going to beat this guy regardless. I'm not going home without the belt. But Kathy, knowing that she was going to be my manager, she got mad about it. And she goes, that's not going to happen. She goes, you're going to come in second. They're going to announce you second. She goes, you're not. She goes, you've been the Golden Boy a lot longer. And he's only been the Golden Boy for, I guess, a year at the time. And like I said, I was like, I didn't care. If he walks in first or if he walks in second, I'm going to beat him. And that's exactly what I did. I don't let that stuff bug me. But, Golden Boy kind of seemed like they had it out for me, thinking I was going to lose the fight. But I proved everyone wrong, so it's all good for me.
Kind of similar to what happened with Alan Sanchez, and he proved them wrong too.
Yeah, the only difference was what was crazy because I think he goes through 5-fight contracts. So of course they set him up for his last fight to be the toughest. But with me, I had a 5-year contract, and they're already negotiating my new 5-year contract. So it's not like, oh, we're not gonna plan on signing them. So it was kind of weird that they were doing that to me. But yeah, it was the same situation and then the same thing. They already negotiate his. I don't know if they did a year or 2-year contract or a 5-5 contract again, but it's kind of weird. Maybe they just have a backup plan type of thing. I guess I'm not sure what they're doing.
Or maybe there was a fight where they're like, oh, maybe this guy's not as good as we thought. Maybe do you think they might have been trying to test you, thinking that they saw something and they want to make sure that you're as good as they originally thought?
Honestly, if that were the case, they've done that to me plenty of times. They haven't done that too many for the LA guys and Diego De La Hoya and Jojo Diaz. They haven't really. Yeah, what was that? Yeah, what's his name? What they call him, the Macaron or something like that, or I forgot. Yeah, Julian Ramirez. All those guys, they don't really put them in with tough guys, and when they put them with semi-tough guys, it's like they start to show all the weaknesses they got and kind of expose them. And with me, if I get exposed, it's because I'm fighting the top guys. I fought ex-champions numerous of times. I fought Enrique Covedo, which nobody wants to fight anymore. So I'm fighting all these tough guys that they're not gonna give them. And we've even said, oh, you think you guys are so good? Why don't you guys fight them? And they're like, no, we're not gonna fight them. So it's like they've tried to test me numerous of times just to kind of seem like it take me out of the spotlight, but every fight I improve and every fight I get bigger.
Which one of those names is a fight that you'd like to? Which one of those guys? I call it playing with your food. When you watch them on Estrella TV or whatever broadcast, which one of those names, those LA Fight Club guys, do you go, I would love to go to LA and beat this guy?
I'm just a fighter, man. Like I said, like, you know, I already know they're not gonna give me any of those guys. So the thing is, I get in the ring, and I don't care who it is, I'll fight. You know, that's the thing. That's, like I said, it's part of boxing. You know, if you're not gonna think that way, then what's the point of being a boxer?
Okay, that's good.